Hey guys, it's me, Akari, on camera for the first time ever, actually, on YouTube. Uh, I know you're probably thinking, what? Why didn't you announce that you were going to do a face reveal? Because I didn't know I was going to. I didn't plan to. But as I'm sure a lot of you probably know, you can probably tell by the title of this video, something very serious happened, and it didn't feel appropriate to just put up my character that I always have. I just wanted to, talk to you kind of face to face, just give my honest thoughts about it. Uh, and just be a little bit more sincere with you guys. Not that I'm not sincere usually, but this just felt the subject of this video is a little bit heavier. So I just wanted to talk to you guys kind of a little bit more personally. Um, so again, I didn't even comb my hair or shave. Sorry, I know I look a mess. Hopefully you can forgive that. But I just kind of wanted to give you my thoughts, my honest thoughts, as quickly and as freshly as possible. So please excuse that. Uh, but but for those of you who don't know, um, Akira Toriyama, the famous mangaka, has just passed away. Uh, Not just, I believe he passed away on the first. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure about the details. I'm only getting this information secondhand. I don't know anything official or any more than any of you do at this point. If you don't know who Akira Toriyama is, sorry. Um, he is the author of Dragon Ball. The series that most of us know as Dragon Ball Z in the West. And not just Dragon Ball, several others. And he worked on many famous video games and so on and so forth. And he just died recently. I believe on the first of this month. We just found out about it last night. Last night, as I'm recording this, I'm recording this on Friday the 8th. I just found out about it last night. I think most of us did. Hopefully, you're seeing this video. I'll try to get this video up at least by tomorrow, Saturday. But just wanted to real quick give you my thoughts about it. And this video was not scripted. That's why I'm rambling so much. I'm sorry. I hope you can understand me. Because, usually I have to record and re-record to make sure it sounds right. And I follow a script, so I'm not, you know, just going off on tangents all the time. And my thoughts are concise. But I didn't want to do that, like I said, for this video. I just wanted to be honest and just give you everything straight out of my head, fresh. Not totally fresh. Like I said, I found out about it last night and just kind of thinking about it and going it over in my head for the past few hours. I wasn't even sure I wanted to make this video, honestly, because, I don't talk about this on my channel. I just try to keep my stuff to the discussions of a fictional manga series. But because Akira Toriyama is so big and so influential and so impactful to not just me, but many, many people the world over, it seemed appropriate to do something. Just even if it's just a small thing. A lot of other YouTubers have done it and made their own tributes and streams talking about what he meant to them. So, not to say I'm trying to compete with them or do it because they're doing it, but it wouldn't feel right if I didn't at least give you my 2 cents, just a little bit. So, I don't know what this video is exactly. I'm just gonna take a few minutes just to talk to you about, I guess, my relationship with uh, Dragon Ball and not just Dragon Ball, but Akira Toriyama's work. So yeah, and I feel I should just preface this by saying, sorry again. I hope you can understand me, but I just want to say, because I talk about Nejima on this channel, I think that might imply that I don't like Dragon Ball or I dislike it or whatever, and I just want to make it very clear that that is absolutely false. I love Dragon Ball. Just like pretty much everyone in the 90s, I grew up with it. It was my favorite show. I loved it. I ran around the playground trying to do the Kamehameha just like everyone else. You know, I loved it. I thought it was great. and I actually think in a lot of ways I loved it a lot more than a lot of shows now, because back then we couldn't just stream all the episodes or just read all the chapters online. We had to wait for them to air on TV and go to the library to read the manga. So that was a lot more dedication. But but yeah, I love Dragon Ball. I'm sure I've probably clowned on it in videos in the past, saying, because and there's a ton of stuff wrong with Dragon Ball. Okay, it's goofy, it's silly, it doesn't. There's a lot of plot holes that just don't make sense, and like uh, you know, the biggest critics of any series are its fans, right? So even though I'm sure I've made fun of it in the past, know that it's all done from out of love, because I do love the series. And even though it's goofy and silly and doesn't make sense sometimes, underneath all that, underneath all that goofiness, I don't know if you can see me on camera, there's something really special. There's just something fun and simple and about it. I don't even really know what it is. Just something that struck a chord with so many people. Me, my best friends Joshua and Jeremy. I'm sure a lot of you, and millions of people the world over. Just there's something so special that I don't even really know how to describe it or what it is. It's funny because I can tell you, I'm a Nejima fan. I've said that many times on this channel. I can tell you why Nejima is special. I can tell you why it's great. Every video on this channel is telling you why Nejima is great. I don't think I can tell you why Dragon Ball is great. I don't know. It's just something intangible about it that just speaks to not just me, but a whole generation of kids growing up with manga. A whole generation of mangakas. Sorry, I don't. Again, I'm rambling. I don't know what I'm saying really. It's just Dragon Ball, and not just Dragon Ball, but all of Akira Toriyama's works are just so influential and so special. And like, and I haven't followed the series for years. I never watched Dragon Ball Super except for the movies, Battle of Gods, Revival of F, and Broly, which I loved immensely, but I never watched the series because I never had time really. It was too daunting. I didn't really have that much interest in it, and it was getting pretty bad reviews. So just all that stuff kind of turned me off from the series, and I really do feel bad about it because the 10-year-old me would be so disappointed that I didn't give it a chance. Because, like, I really do love the series, even if I haven't expressed that love in recent years. And I know some people, maybe you don't think Dragon Ball, maybe you don't care about Dragon Ball, maybe you haven't seen it, maybe you're not a fan. Fine, that's fine. You don't have to be. Everyone has different tastes. There are a lot of people that say, what Naruto's so much better and One Piece is so much better. Fine, fine. Have that opinion. Go ahead. It's your opinion. You're entitled to it. But that's not the point. You know, all those series, like the big three, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, and not even just those, My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, all these other great series would not exist without Dragon Ball. You know, it Akira Toriyama inspired so many people to pick up the pen and start writing their own series. I think uh Oda specifically cites Toriyama as one of his big inspirations for creating his series, and that's beautiful. And even if they don't cite it specifically, you can see all the inspirations. The attack names, the flashy animation, all that. We wouldn't have those without Dragon Ball. Maybe Naruto and Bleach and One Piece still would have existed, but they wouldn't be what we know them as today. They would be completely different. Maybe they'd be just as good, maybe they'd be better. We don't know. We literally have no way of knowing, so I'm not even gonna start that argument. But they wouldn't be what they are. You cannot deny that. You can be the biggest Dragon Ball hater in the world, but you can't deny that. And for one person to have so much influence in the world it's beautiful, it's incredible. I don't know what else I can say that everyone else hasn't already said without just repeating myself. I sound like an idiot. And he's inspired so many people. Even though I'm not a writer, I'm not an artist, but I wouldn't be where I am here without Toriyama and his influence. Um, Even though, like, it's safe, I've made friends that I probably wouldn't have made if I wouldn't bond over Dragon Ball together. you know, and it's not just Dragon Ball, by the way. He did Sandland, which is a really good series, by the way. It's like one. I think it's only one volume, and it's really good. It's a really short read. I highly recommend it. He also, I don't think he wrote it, but I know he did a lot of the character designs for the original Dragon Quest games, which I haven't played, but I hear are very, very good. I'm definitely gonna check them out. I think they're on Steam. If you like Dragon Ball's designs, go check that out. And I've read the Dragon Quest manga, which is very good. It's very reminiscent of Dragon Ball. I recommend that as well. But Dragon Ball specifically was the big one. Um, and it just, I wouldn't look. I know I'm a small YouTuber. I have like less than 100 subscribers. I haven't been doing this very long, only a couple of years now. I don't have very many videos on the channel, but I really do truly, really and truly love making these videos. I love talking to you guys. I love nerding out about Nejima, and I wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't for Toriyama. And you might be saying like, but you make videos about Nejima, not Dragon Ball. Nejima wouldn't exist without Dragon Ball. Just that's a fact. Like I don't know how you can deny that. But even if it did, or even if I was on YouTube doing something else, I wouldn't be Akari because here's a story that I always knew I wanted to share this story on my channel. Didn't think it would be today, but here we are. When I was like 11 or 12 in middle school, back then we didn't have a lot of places we could hang out. It was really just school and home. So the only place we could hang out besides our front porch was the library, the public library. So we went there after school, and one day I saw my very first manga. Guess what it was? It was Dragon Ball Volume 8. I remember it specifically. I saw it and I was amazed. I've never seen a manga before. I didn't really understand what anime and manga was, that it was different from, American cartoons. I was like, why is Goku as a little kid? Because we didn't get the original Dragon Ball. We got Z in the U.S. But why is Goku a little kid on this backwards comic book? This is so weird. I was entranced. So I checked it out, burned through it in like a day or two. I think it was like on the weekend, so I just read it immediately and like reread it a few times. And like that introduced me to what manga was, and what anime was, and I just took this huge da- dive down this rabbit hole of course Nejima, but Bleach, One Piece, and those are just the big ones, Naruto, Shakugan no Shana, Rosario Vampire, Dragon Quest, Shaman King, all a million things that I can't even state, but it was all because of that one manga, because of Toriyama. And sorry, I got so off track, but the reason I picked my name as Akari is because when I looked at that manga, Dragon Ball Volume 8, and I know his name is Akira Toriyama, but they either printed it wrong or I must have read it wrong or something. I looked at it and I saw Akari, and I don't know, and it was the first time I probably seen a Japanese name before, and I thought it sounded cool, it stuck out to me, and I actually started calling myself that in real life in middle school. That was my legit nickname. I know, cringe, weeaboo, whatever, but I did it. I wore that with a badge of honor, and I've always used that as my online handle, and that's why I chose. That's why it's my channel name. I and I know it was just a stupid joke at first. I just thought it sounded cool, but over the years, and I kept using that. I like to think. it's out of respect for Toriyama, even though it's not his actual name. And I know Akari is a fairly common Japanese name, but my Akari is referenced to him, and I will always respect him for it. Um, I don't know. Again, I don't know what this video is. I'm just rambling, sharing stories. So I guess that's what this video is. Me sharing some Dragon Ball stories. And like I said, we couldn't just watch. We could watch it on TV, but only when it aired. And I remember, uh, I know a lot of people watched it in the after school slot, but I remember distinctively, maybe for a short period of time, Dragon Ball was I think it aired late at night at like Dragon Ball Z. I mean, I've gotten used to just calling the whole franchise Dragon Ball because that's what it is in the original manga. But Dragon Ball Z aired at like 9:30 or 10 p.m. at night, which is well past my bedtime, and I would actually have to kind of convince my mom to let me stay up and watch it because it's like Dragon Ball actually taught me how to haggle. Because I knew if it was already past my bedtime, then I couldn't watch it. However, I have to talk to my mom and distract her so she wouldn't see the clock and send me to bed. But if I knew if I could just get her to let me stay up until the show started, I could probably convince her to let me watch it. Be like, Mommy, you can't send me to bed now. Dragon Ball Z is on. It's like, okay, fine. You can watch this one episode and then go to sleep. Yes. I did that so many times, and sometimes I don't always get away with it, but sometimes I did. I haven't thought about that in so long. Oh my god. Oh, sorry. I'm getting a little teary up. Sorry. Um, yeah, the sadness is coming now. Because I didn't really know how to feel, and I wasn't really sad. I guess, like a lot of people, I was kind of in disbelief. You know, can't believe that he's really gone. But it's starting to come out a little bit now. And I think, I don't know, I just feel guilty because, like I said, I didn't really engage with Super or I know he has a new project called Daima that he was working on. I don't know much about that. I'm definitely gonna watch it, especially now. But I just kept thinking about what 10-year-old me would say, you know, if I didn't at least talk about this at least a little bit. And again, this video is unscripted. I don't want to edit it too much. I'm just talking, off the top of my head. Just sharing some Dragon Ball stories. Like, I remember always going to the library to look for new to me volumes of the manga. I read most of it in my public library. And even my sister, who doesn't even really like Dragon Ball, I got her to read some of it with me just by. She probably didn't care for it, but just by pestering her enough, like, oh, you gotta read this. It's so cool. Like, look, let's read it together. And we did, and that was a good memory. Not a ton, because again, she wasn't really into it, but that was kind of our gateway to read other manga together. I remember we spent a lot of time reading Naruto together because we both got on board with that at the same time. And back then, we couldn't read it online. We had to go to and our library didn't have a lot of manga, so we had to order it from other libraries, and it would come a week later, and then we'd read that one volume and do it again. Like, and I wouldn't have that memory if it wasn't for Toriyama, and I'm so grateful for that. And like, and my sister and I found this. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. It's this little Dragon Ball bento box. Let me undo the thing so you can see it. So it's a Dragon Ball bento box that my big sister got for me. And again, she doesn't even like Dragon Ball, but she knew enough that I liked it and went out of her way to go. And I think she had to special order it too. I mean, sure, she doesn't get much use out of it because I can't cook, but I love that she loved me enough to get this for me, and it was expensive too. But I wouldn't even have this or that memory if it wasn't for Toriyama. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you on this channel about Nejima and my passions if it wasn't for Toriyama. I wouldn't be Akari if it wasn't for Toriyama. Uh, I don't know. That's it. I don't know. There's no big mic drop. There's no super poignant story. There are a lot of other YouTubers that have done things that were so much more inspiring and so much more inspirational than me. Check them out. Carthu did a really touching stream. So did and Jax Blade did a really nice tribute, a really nice goodbye. Again, I'm not good at talking. That's why I use scripts so I know what to say. I'm not just rambling. And you probably can't even hear me through the stuttering and the mumbling because I'm doing this all in one take. But I just wanted to pay respect, even in some small, tiny, insignificant way, to one of the biggest influences I've had. That influence I've talked about how Nejima was one of my favorite manga. Wouldn't be here without Dragon Ball. Same thing with Naruto, Bleach, all that. One Piece, which again is also one of my loves. I'd be very surprised if you can find a single. Oh, sorry, that's my mom's computer doing something in the background. But I'd be very surprised if you couldn't find a single modern shonen that doesn't trace its way back to Dragon Ball, at least a little bit. You know? And it's not just Dragon Ball, Again, Sandland, Dragon Quest, which inspired other video games, like, probably Final Fantasy and Persona if you really want to stretch it. And even just folklore, because, like, I didn't know about Journey to the West or Sun Wukong and the Monkey King before Dragon Ball. But now he's one of my favorite mythological characters. I think he's so cool. I love his story. I love the Journey to the West. Overly Sarcastic Productions does a really cool series called on their channel. I'll link it down below. Called Journey to the West Summarized. It summarizes the story of Journey to the West in their art style. It's really, really good. But I probably wouldn't have even found that series if I wasn't introduced to Sun Wukong through Goku, through Dragon Ball, through Toriyama. And it's so he's impacted so many people so much. And it's like, and I almost feel bad kind of talking about his work because he's more than that. He's not just a series. He's not just a series that we like to talk about or make fun of sometimes. That's part of the fun too. But he's a person. He's a human being. Carthy said it really nicely in his video. He's a human being that has a wife and kids and a family, people who loved him. And even though we're feeling it, they must be feeling this loss so much worse. And my heart and soul goes out to each and every one of them. My deepest condolences, all that. Best wishes to this great man and all the memories he's given us. So yeah, that's it. I won't talk for very much longer. I think you guys get the point. I'm probably not gonna make another video like this, just because again, that's not really what I do on my channel. But I don't know. Maybe if something changes or I have something else to say, I will. But that's probably gonna be it. Next video is gonna be business as usual. We're gonna get back to Asakura's discussion series next. But I just wanted to give my respect to Toriyama. And even if I don't make another video about it, I still plan to, show my respect in some other small personal ways. Like just this morning I ordered Dragon Ball Volume 8 off Amazon because I don't have a lot of physical manga. I mostly read my manga online, but I just want to have that just to relive that memory of, opening a manga for the first time and reading that. And I think I just realized that that's my favorite manga of all time because not only is it really good, it's really good. Volume 8, that's when he destroys the Red Ribbon Army and climbs Korin Tower. It's a really good story, but it's the one that got me into manga, told me what a manga was for the first time, and put me down that rabbit hole. and that I spent thousands of hours reading, various manga. So yeah, I ordered that this morning. It should come tomorrow, and I'm just gonna read it and relive some memories. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a video about that. I don't know. But if I never talk about this again, if I never talk about Toriyama again on this channel, just know that I am aware. I heard about it, and it does affect me. And he was a huge influence in me in many, many ways. And he will be missed dearly. So, sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. But I just want to say thank you, Toriyama Sensei, for introducing a little boy to the world of anime and manga so many years ago. You will be missed. Okay, that's all. Next time, guys. Bye.